I believe that art should reflect current society. The combination of visual art and LED light technology in my artworks in part aims to represent our contemporary way of life, in which technology and the media play an important role. The S.O.S concept has been a central part of my artistic production for some time. It invites viewers to reflect on their inner being and on the true value of their existence. I think we are often conditioned by fashions, conventions and false myths which go against our true self. So S.O.S is both my way of examining fears, inadequacies and differences, and at the same time a tool to express our desires, our need of freedom and also our search of the truth. So S.O.S is therefore both an artistic and sensory experience and at the same time my YouTube journey, in which we remove all the unnecessary layers and uncover what we are, what we would like to be, or perhaps what we are out to be. S.O.S Code is an artistic project I have been working for several years. My technique stems from a huge amount of experimentation, which allowed me to rethink and redesign the structure and the function of the lightbox. Instead of being static, my work uses LED light to create an effect of moving figures. I deliberately chose not to use electronic displays or videos. Instead, I interact with spectators through a sort of optical illusion. My aim when researching and designing the project was to create something unusual or original. Each work in the S.O.S Code series interacts with the public through a flashing light that spells out Morse code messages. Each artwork offers a different message relating to uncovering one's inner psychological state. That said, the S.O.S Code series is also an interior journey, an odyssey that describes a psychological transformation. Each work, therefore, describes the result of the specific internal state tackled in the previous work. Emergence is the first chapter in the S.O.S Code series. It is the most static artwork in terms of its structure and composition. It reveals how our inner life often conceals fears and uncertainties that make us want to hide and to defend our intimacy, almost wrapping it up. This barrier protects us, but at the same time it produces profound isolation, creating distance between us and sometimes making us incomprehensible to others. The Morse code spells out, "I wish to communicate with you." This visual message is an invitation to overcome this separation, to get over our atavistic fears of others and finally start to communicate. Emergence is, therefore, a representation of the appearance of one's true self, and at the same time, it is a request for listening and attention. Adrift is the second part in my S.O.S Code series. This work tackles the tormented journey taken by humanity without any solid points of reference to grasp onto. Often confused by the indifference and superficiality of our relationships. We fail to grasp the intimate value of living and remain like trapped in the vortex deprived of sense that drags us deeper and deeper down. On the other hand, I believe that respect and looking after others provide the life-giving energy that makes our journey human. The figure that gradually emerges from the dark and the whirlwind of the storm represent both anguish and at the same time how we can overcome it. The bright and the pulsating Morse code shows how we can request help in getting back on track and ending our dangerous deviation. artwork Steps is the short part in the S.O.S code series. It reveals an introspective journey that we all make at various times in our life. In this work, I have outlined especially a moment of separation, a time when we decide to change direction, to turn our back on the past, and to take the difficult but essential path to freedom and a new dimension. It's a time when we finally free ourselves from the weight that drags us down, when we overcome with some pain even the burden of indecision and our conditioning to move forward one step at a time on life's journey. The encrypted Morse message in this artwork states, "I'm moving forward." In some ways, it represents the route that I think every soul tries to follow, searching for the fulfillment and the true meaning of its existence. Homeward is the final chapter in my S.O.S code series. This work presents an allegorical description of human experience in pursuit of knowledge. The body rising towards the light represents the profound journey that each of us tries to take to get closer to the truth. From its initial and static, prostrate state, bound to the unknown, man's soul moves along the path of its existence, longing for the enlightenment. Living means, for me, going on a journey that has awareness as its final destination. We share with all of humanity this desire to gain knowledge and to rediscover ourselves, to return to that perfect home where we can finally understand the very essence of living. It is there that the pulsation of Morse code finally delivers the message, "I seek permission to put down anchor."